Hey, welcome to Clark's Place. This is a follow-on video for the work we've been doing on the Daytona Tribute, the tail panel, light panel that we just removed. And this is the new panel I got it from it's actually, I think, an AMD. No, that's a different, there's the box. AMD came from Brian's Mopar up in Sharpsburg, Georgia. Anyway, he sent it to me and just trying to mock it up here. My main concern was the lip that was all ratty that we needed to mount to. As you can see along here, those clamps has brought it up tight. It was, you could stick your finger in there. This has drawn it in. We're gonna have to lay inside the trunk deck and weld. Hopefully, you know, it'll burn through some discoloration, but this one I cut off a little bit. May have to cut off some more. This side, you can see, I mean, you have to do this to really a lot of the body parts you get. This, I'm going to have to cut this off because you can see it goes up too high. And that's good that they make them a little big. You trim it to fit just perfect. This is going to lay in there real nice. I don't like that it's not matching up right here, but when you really force this back, it lines up okay. So we still got a little work to do here. Want to fill this in with weld, and we want to take this off and see if we can address the fitment here. Not quite tight like we'd want it there, and this side especially. As you can see, there is a heck of a gap. I don't want that. I want it to look perfect. So we may have to grind some of this off, pull that panel back to get to this panel, see how it's put on there. So this one here, it's a new gutter, but it needs to be brought up, as you can see, to match, and that'll all weld in just fine. I did grind out all this. I may cut a little more of this off so that fits a little flusher, and as you start welding this, tapping it in, it all lays in there probably real nice. So the next thing to do is take it all apart and start seeing about this bottom panel. So it's a heavy duty piece, and it's going to be hard probably to get apart because it's got this panel here. It's welded to it pretty stoutly. So anyway, we'll see. I'll get this off of here and reassess what we're going to do. Okay, here's what we got. The quarter panel has, I'm not sure how good of a weld. Doesn't look the greatest. Usually you drill holes. Looks like some down here as well. But as you can see, this this has been welded a little bit, but not a lot. It should pop off of there pretty easy, but then again, our problem area is that has not been sucked up like it should be. It doesn't fit good here on the bottom. Not sure what they've done there, but that needs to be a tight seam. Whoops, just like the top. So we'll take that out. Doesn't look like they matched that up that great. Kind of boogered up down in there. So I'll get that off. I don't know how bad this one is. Yeah, it's a little bit better. Looks like the paper's down in there from being burnt off. Yeah. Like I say, this one is not as bad, but still, it doesn't come out right here. Doesn't match that. This isn't bad. Still at the bottom. So I will get that out of there. But see, these are welds. These are welds from this here, which it's a shame. Boy, there's a lot of welds. I think I just put these in because they had not welded them. So of course, now I've got to possibly grind them off of there to get this out of there. It looks kind of sloppy, whoever put this panel on. But it is what it is, so hopefully I'll get this panel back so I can get to this. I have two new corners for the 70 Charger that I have out on the trailer. That will be another one to do after this one, if I have the strength and I'm not dead. But I may try to put those in. Christopher seems to think these are on backwards, that this one should be on the other side, is why it doesn't fit. I don't think so. Just by the way it's curved, I don't think they could be mistaken, but we'll find out. I could be wrong. It could be they were put on wrong and that's why they couldn't get them to match up right, but hopefully that's not the case. Anyway, I will probably put it on time lapse and try to get this panel off, or start on it anyway. So bye for now. Okay, what I've started to do here is try to get this thing lined up better, of course, and I've drilled out a bunch, and this panel is loose. It's not. I may have to bend this part down so this will come out. Doesn't look like it's connected here, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do there. Taking all that, this is so on there. I'm not going to probably get it off unless I want to destroy this panel, order a new panel, then I can get that off. So that's an option. They're a couple $100, maybe a little more. So I don't know, we'll see. I just got this all fit with this panel, the light panel, so we'll see. I'm still going to work it, see if I can get that straightened out. Of course, this one same way. If I can get it to fit a little better, get this off of there. I did get those welded in. I got the trunk and the little holder for the spring clasp, or whatever you want to call that. It's on there now. So when I get my jack, that'll all look good. So that's all I got done today. Worked on this, and I think I did more destroying than any good. But this is, like I say, this is loose. Might be able to get it out of there and see what we can do about it. So that's it for now. Today I'm going to work on the tail, putting the light in, or the tail light panel I should say, which getting a lot of the edges ready. Here is the panel to cut. I'm going to round some of these, holes out, grind the back of these where it's been drilled through. See, there's a lot of a lot of burrs that will keep it from laying flat. But grind all those, get this set and ready to screw in over here and weld. So that's the plan, and I'll put it on time lapse and we'll go from there. What I've done is, where this is be welded, I've exposed the bare metal so we get a good penetration, and then across here, that's what lays up against all these holes here, flat. And then I'll come from behind and try to fill the best I can from the holes from the first one. Of course, all those welds were cut out of there. It fits in there flush. And then these two little ears and that flat part, that lays here, the two little ears and the flat part. So you got some bare metal there to weld. What I will do is I will punch a couple holes, a couple here, and then go across here with some holes. So when that's pushed up against it, I'll come across here and weld. I believe that's exactly how Chris has on his. As you can see, he had holes and he spot welded, and then from underneath as well. So do the same thing there, and then across the bottom, you can't hardly see it, but he does have some welds in there. And what will show up on the outside, his is all finished off. No, it's up here. His are all finished off because he had holes on the back side, which I will too. So that's the plan, and I'll go back on time lapse and see how long it takes me to get this all set up. So it'll probably be a little while. I still may be trimming a little bit of this. I don't know, we'll see. So that's my next step. Okay, reason why I've switched to working with this upright of the wing and not putting the tail panel on yet is it makes it real easy to get in here and measure and figure. Got the wing washer, they call it, snugged up. I don't have that one all the way snug yet. Close, but this is the bracing, which I should have marked them. You can see one goes one way, the other one's a different angle, and then these brackets, one of them has hole one way and they're around the same, the other one's the other way, which, as you can see, this one here fits because they're staggered, but it says this gets mounted in the floor, bolted to the floor on the Daytonas, and the brackets are welded in the Superbirds. So I wanted to get this all in here, get the holes drilled, and easy accessibility to do all this instead of trying to lean over the tail light panel to do all this work. So getting this part of it done, I'll work on this side as well. Get all this done and the holes drilled, so when I paint, everything gets paint. That's what we want. So this will get bolted, and then they'll be bolted together as well. So that's how all this should turn out and be good. So I still have this light panel, or light to get. I think Brian's going to cut one out of either a fender or an old quarter, and I think we've got a video on that. If anybody has a quarter they've taken off that's ready to go in the trash and this section, the light is still good, which here's one that is good. Of course it could all be rusted out here and around the wheel lip, but this light's still good. It's not really good for anybody unless they have one that's messed up like I did. Well, my problem was they were going to make this a 68, and they put a 68 quarter on it, which only has the little hole here. So I had to cut the hole. The piece I had was rusted on my old quarter, and it just kept popping on me. I couldn't get it welded good, and everything was rusted. So if I have a good piece big enough that I can cut this out and butt weld it, then I'll have a good light in there. But that's not my issue right now. I want to get these marked, holes drilled, so I know I can bolt in these brackets once the car's all done and painted. That's my goal today. Get this done anyway. It's thundering out, so it's going to be raining. Anyway, that's where I am. I may not get this taillight panel put in yet. We'll see. So stay tuned. Okay, what I've done is just like this side, mounted the wing upright, mounted the bracing, and the piece that goes here, because they're offset, as you can see. It's the way Janik makes them. Then I drew my I'd marked where the two holes are. This one's better to see. There's the two marks. I'm going to drill those out big enough for one of the bolts to go in one of those bolts, and then when I paint and do all that work, they'll be painting the bolts, and it's so much easier without any of the tail lights to get in there. I can get to everything. So that's the plan. So that's what I'm going to do next, is do that and then fit this taillight panel up and start clamping and getting ready to weld it. You can see I've drilled the holes out, places that I need, the holes up here that the punch didn't fit. Same over here, 3 of them. So we'll be good to go and get this tail put back together and get it back on the rotisserie so I can do that kind of stuff and work on the bottom and all the good stuff that I still got left to do to this car. Okay, got the tail panel welded on, as you can see from the I guess weld through where it comes through on the other side. And I don't know how well you'll be able to see some of this in here, but it was very difficult to get up in there and get those welds. Now I'll try to grind a lot of these off, but at least the tail panel is on. I noticed this cross member piece here. Someone has cut out both sides of it, which I'm not sure why. Some pretty heavy gauge. I don't know if it's to fit a bigger transmission in or what. So I'm going to, which I have, cut some pieces. They're very, very thick, and I think those will work. I'll put those on there, and I love the rotisserie. It's so easy to get it upside down when you're working on it. But the panel looks really nice on there. All this lines up really nice. I've already ground off some of it where it went through the weld, the back side of the, I guess the trunk's key support. So that's in. And like I say, I'll grind a lot of these, or all of them, off a little bit smoother. And this all turned out real good. I've already ground it. So my quarter extension molding will fit on there real nice. Still got to clean up around here a little bit to make the circle that's in the gutter show up better, which a lot of that's just from when I tried to fix it before. This all looks good too. So I think I'm a lot happier with that than trying to put the little piece across here on one, the one before. It just wasn't good. So we'll move on. I do have my 2 holes drilled for my support for the wing on both sides. So did get that done while I had the tail panel off, which I think I was kind of showing how that went. So until next time.
Okay, I'm not sure how much Pops has filmed on this. I think, what'd you say, you filmed yourself catching yourself on fire?
Yeah.
Hopefully that'll be in this video. You can see. I might do a short on that too if you were actually on fire. I didn't have it back on the
rotisserie yet, but
can you see the light coming through here?
No, not really. I got a hole right. Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, come down right into here.
Yeah. See.
Yeah, there. These holes are
1,
so
2,
big in
3,
this panel.
4, 5, 6. Well, to drill out the old
light panel, they were bigger, and this all.
That's why I told you should buy a whole rear valance too.
Well, it's still.
It'll be
the amount of work. This was a new panel to start with, so.
Yeah.
It was good. Whoop.
Careful,
it's
Douglas.
Good. It's just those didn't get completely closed up.
I'm gonna go through and just get some weld and clean up, and then we'll grind all
I'm gonna take the copper paddle and kind of hold against these, so there isn't a ton that oozes through, and it was gonna be hard to grind that out.
I knew that this was gonna be like this when it was drilled out. That
I know it.
Putting this panel, a new panel back in, it wasn't gonna do.
But the rest of them, you can see where they've all heated the black up, come through. There's a little hump. I'll knock that down.
Looks good.
When I get off the rotisserie.
Yep, cool. All right, we'll clean up on aisle 3.